Hey guys, it's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to film a video for you guys, a little something different. So I have compiled a list for like a month now on things Swifties would only understand. Like inside jokes, little words, like we'd be like, that is just the average word to somebody else. But for a Swiftie, that means a lot more to us. So I was like, you know what, this could be a fun video. I could like tell you guys, give like a little brief explanation, and you guys can tell me like how many maybe like that you knew, or maybe you've been let in on a new inside joke in this video. So we're gonna get started, and I'm super excited for this video. I thought it would just be fun. I wanna do more videos like this, like where we just sit and talk about Taylor. So cheers to that. I got my Starbucks right here. Chai oat milk latte with brown sugar syrup is a yes. Okay, so number one is leather bracelets. Now, leather bracelets means a lot to us. The OG Swifties know that she used to release merch. I still could not tell you how to tie a leather bracelet. Literally, the instructional video that Taylor posted was on repeat for me when I got them back in the day. Moral of the story is they're very hard to tie, and nobody knew how to tie them except the experts, and I was not an expert. LOL, I thought that was me. So this one is hilarious to me because this was the Tumblr days, RIP Tumblr days. Taylor was commenting on people's posts, and she was pretty much commenting, LOL, I thought this was me. Like she was going on a spree that night, and it was hilarious. Can we have another question is number 3. So this one is when Justin Bieber won a milestone award at the Billboard Awards, and she was not having it, and she said to the interviewer, can we have another question? Like I can hear that in my head. Number 4 is it doesn't have a head. If you have not seen the video of Taylor after LASIK surgery, you're missing out. That bananas were never the same after that video, and honestly, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Sea urchins. Taylor is terrified of them, and she has quite the fear of sea urchins. Somebody's car alarm is going off. Number whatever is no, it's Becky. So pretty much back in the day, there was an inside joke about how there was this girl who they thought looked like Taylor Swift, but it was like, no, it's Becky. Like it was a whole storyline, and it became quite the joke with Taylor on Tumblr. Again, some of these are definitely Tumblr day. I miss it. Gremlin voice. Her and Jack Antonoff, they do a gremlin voice, and she's done it before in interviews where she's like, ah, like I can't even mimic it, but like it's so funny when she does it. Dead tooth. Taylor Swift chipped her tooth on stage one night, and I believe it was Pittsburgh on the Red tour. She like had the microphone like up like this, and she dropped it and she chipped her tooth, and it's called dead tooth. Okay, I have ghosts. Because when Taylor was writing Gorgeous, her curtains like suddenly dropped, and she went, ghost, and it was just really cute. I'm in handcuffs. This one is maybe one of the funniest nights maybe ever on Twitter. There was this guy who was like at the Reputation Stadium tour, and he was talking about how he was going to be in handcuffs. And then it just became an inside joke with the fandom where like, oh my god, I'm in handcuffs. Like it was just like a funny saying we'd say. Oh my god. And I'm like choking on my Starbucks. Oh my god, that night was hilarious. Next up, we've got suitcase. Suitcase meaning there was a picture of Taylor, and everybody to this day is like, was Taylor in that suitcase? It was like when she really didn't want to be spotted. And her bodyguards were literally carrying like a suitcase out of her apartment, but like holding it, not like rolling it or like anything like that, like by the handle. Like they were like carrying the suitcase. And it's like, Taylor, were you in there? Like questions I'd love to ask her. We've got a 1-year cake. Like people love to say this for an anniversary having to do with Taylor now. It's like, we've got a 1-year cake because like it's that video of Taylor and Calvin Harris on their anniversary, and he's like, we've got a 1-year cake. We've got a 1-year cake, and she's like she nods, like the way she nods is just like, oh my god, sweetie, let's get you out of there. But yeah, we've got a 1-year cake is like a joke. Okay. 3 cats is a party. I mean, 3 cats is a cat lady, 2 cats is a party. Taylor said this a lot after she got Olivia, and we know how that went down. She is now a classified cat lady. The next one is very near and dear to my heart. It's not an ad, just facts. So, I've heard people catch on to this. It makes me so happy because this was something that she said to me. So, I asked Taylor what lipstick she was wearing in a post on Tumblr, and I was like reblogging it a lot, and she eventually saw it and she told me what lipstick she was wearing, and then she told me one that she was obsessed with as well, which like, and then she said hashtag not an ad, just facts, and it was just so cute. Okay, next up we've got Eunice. If you watch Taylor during her vlogging days, good for you. If not, please go back and watch her vlogs. Like, I loved her vlogs. Like, her London vlog was absolutely hilarious. And like Eunice and that voice, like Liz Hewitt, Caitlin, and Taylor were the elite friend group. Like, I miss that friend group so much. But Eunice was like a persona, and it was just so funny. Like, the voice was iconic. Just like the dynamic, the language was so funny. Okay. 5 holes in a fence. Yeah, this one we really thought that Taylor was doing a countdown when she was about to release Lover, when she was like teasing a new album. She posted 5 holes in a fence, and now it was not an Easter egg, but it was the funniest thing. And then she alluded to it, and she was like, okay, now there are 5 holes in a fence, because she thought it was so funny that we were all so convinced. Okay, we are classified clowns. Roses. Roses was when 1989 was, ooh, golden hour, hello. So, Roses was when 1989 was coming out, and we didn't know what she was teasing, but everybody thought the album was going to be named Roses. Back in the day, Alexis and I remember we literally were like, I never believed the rose theory, but Alexis was like, oh my god, Rachel, it is Roses. And I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like, I remember like we like playfully bantered back and forth like so many times about that album being named Roses. Okay, now we've got the dang deer. Taylor's Minnesota accent was absolutely hilarious. She did it on a radio show one time, and it was the funniest thing. She did like a Minnesota like soccer mom, and it was iconic. Fishbowl. Taylor said if anyone were to ever jump in the fishbowl with her and join her life like that, it would feel as if she was in a fishbowl because of how her life is, how it can be like, you know, trapped or, you know, like very inclusive. She said if anybody were to ever jump into the fishbowl with her, then they would be a part of, you know, that, I guess, the way her life feels. You know, like everybody's looking into the fishbowl and she's the fish, so. Okay, you painted me golden. Okay, go off. Starbucks lovers. There was a very misheard lyric. Oh, Starbucks. I feel like I have to take a sip of my Starbucks now. When Blank Space came out, everybody thought she said, got a long list of Starbucks lovers, when it's got a long list of ex-lovers, and it just became the biggest joke, and I love a good coffee joke, so, and it does sound like that. But more than anything, more than that, I always heard stand back wasted instead of stand back where you stood, and I wish you would. And I can't wait for the re-recording on that because I'm so excited to see if like I hear a difference. Okay, the scarf. We all know about that scarf, and listen to All Too Well. You'll understand. Thy Shall Not Be Named literally took a Gucci scarf from that woman. Poor thing. I'd be asking for it back too. Okay. Alright, I have a whole other page, and then I have like some written on another page, but I'm gonna tell you guys this next page, and then if you guys want a part 2, definitely let me know. So this is really fun for me. Like, it's fun to like reflect on memories. Okay, next up we have the birthday book. When she was on set for the White Horse music video, she got this as a gift, and she was like looking at it with her co-star, and it was just really wholesome, and everybody, I think at some point, tried to buy it off Barnes & Noble. Burritos. Taylor Swift told us in Miss Americana that she had not had a burrito in her life, and it was a new thing for her, and that she puts chips in her burritos, and I love that for her. But why the heck did it take that long? Alright, now we have Dibbles. Taylor calls Olivia her second cat Dibbles sometimes because she feels like it reflects her personality perfectly. She's like, hey guys, it's Dibbles. Like she's like, this cat is just like so do, like she's just in her own self, like, and she just has like that goofy kind of like personality, I guess. So Taylor calls her Dibbles. The Marshmallow Wars. This is what Taylor calls her cat wars. Like if her cats just like get in a playful fight, Taylor will say that they're in the Marshmallow Wars because they're just like three fluff balls, I should say. You know, just like pouncing all over each other and playing, and she said it just looks like marshmallows throwing each other. Yeah, okay. Woodvale. The supposed third album in the Evermore Folklore, I just said that backwards, trilogy. Everybody thinks that Woodvale is a thing still, and I really don't believe it. Woodvale was actually what Taylor had mocked up on the Folklore cover, and it was actually because it was the same number of letters for Folklore. It was kind of like the code word, and she wanted to see if she actually even wanted to put the album cover on, or the album title on the booklet and the CD. Oh my god, now I'm really overexposed because the sun's like right there. But sorry about the lighting, you guys. But so that is like the story behind that. She was trying to decide, and she forgot to take it off before the album was actually mocked up. So, track 5. I feel like this one's simple, but Taylor knows by now that track 5 on her albums is always the vulnerable song, and so that is track 5. We always know we're gonna get a sad song for track 5. Alright, I feel like I should... I'm gonna move spots. Oh, I tried to get better lighting, but it just didn't work. So, nice try on my part. But, the next one we have is the Itty Bitty Pretty Kitty Committee. And Taylor said this in a speech one time, that she was really excited. The Teen Choice Awards put them on her big surfboard, and it was just really funny. She said, the Itty Bitty Pretty Kitty Committee. I love Taylor so much. Like, she is so like, I just love her personality. I truly think she has the best personality on this planet. Next up is Cookie Dough. Cookie Dough is very iconic. I watched Taylor Swift eat cookie dough multiple times, like countless times a day, to get Reputation Stadium tour tickets. That was like one of like the activities that you could do to earn points, and I think that that was the best ticketing system maybe to ever exist, and I'm hoping that when she does a concert again, she does the slow ticketing and she does like the boost. Oh God, that's what they were called, a boost. A Reputation Stadium Tour boost. And I got priority. It was okay. Now Taylor is watching TV. Now Taylor... Oh gosh. Oh man. That was a time. But I did not mind watching Taylor Swift eat cookie dough. But it's just a joke because of how much we all had to watch it. So, next up. Is Turkey a nickname or a country? Now, this one is truly such a fandom joke because Taylor was doing Super Saturday Night in Houston, and we all thought an album announcement was coming because they were like, hey, we're gonna do a live stream. It has to do with Taylor. And we're like, oh my God, we're literally getting TS6 news. We were not. We got shown a flower mural that they were putting out at the show, and it said we will never go out of style. And to this day, I was so convinced that we were getting news. Literally, remember I was at my grandma's house and like I went in the back room and just watched it. I was like, oh my God, we're getting album news. We were not getting album news. We were getting a mural. But in the live stream, somebody said to the girl who was doing it, they were like, hi from Turkey. And she said, is Turkey a nickname or a country? And it's been a joke ever since. Okay. Sharpie eyeliner. Global superstar Taylor Swift used to put on eyeliner with a Sharpie. With a Sharpie. And ma'am, literally, what in the world? But like, she used to do that. She tweeted about it in an airport bathroom one time. She was putting it on, and I'm like, okay. Back in 1989, Taylor was releasing a single, and there were 7 seconds of static. So if you ever hear a Taylor Swift fan say, there were 7 seconds of static, this would be why. On all the streaming platforms, 7 seconds of static got uploaded, and it still went to #1 because it was just like an error, like a server error. But everybody joked about it because the 7 seconds of static still went #1. And the interviewer, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, said you could even upload 7 seconds of static and it would still go #1. You know, like, how much effort do you really have to put into your stuff, Taylor? It was just really funny. The belly button discourse, for the longest time, just because like it was something we had never seen. Like, it seemed like we would never see Taylor Swift's belly button because she'd wear like high-waisted stuff or whatever. We never saw her belly button, and it became a discourse that she didn't have a belly button for a really long time. And then she met a fan, actually one of the Christmas girls, and she was like, hey, like, let's expose my belly button together. It was just really funny. Next up, I have 4/26. 4/26 was the day that Taylor actually finally gave us news about, like, Lover. Actually, not about Lover, but she gave us the Me music video. So, a long waited after all of that, 4/26 was finally our day after we had been fooled with many Easter eggs. 7 palm trees. So Taylor posted 7 palm trees, and again, Taylor, you should know by now that we will count anything that you give us. But she actually posted this the day that she finished the Lover album. But again, we all thought that she was counting down. Is that an alpaca right now or a llama? Taylor said this on the We're Never Ever Getting Back Together video shoot, and it was just really funny because like how offhand it was. Like, she was like, is that an alpaca right now or a llama? Like, the way she said it was just absolutely hilarious to me. So I've heard some people say that, but I feel like it's one of those like forgotten things that she said, but I think it's personally hilarious. Number 13. Number 13 is just Taylor's lucky number. We write it on our hands at concerts. We throw it in everybody's face every time we can. We have, you know, made it on ring. I have a ring at home that says 13. If you see 13s everywhere, we're like, oh my god, you know, this is lucky for us. I personally saw a lot of 13s before I met Taylor, and right around the Lover time frame, I was seeing a lot of them too. And they would all just be like a coincidence. And it would be like, oh my god, paid $13 at Starbucks, like, it's my lucky day. 13 minutes left on the oven, 13 minutes, you know, whatever here and there, like, it's 8:13, like, you see 13, just say hi, Taylor Swift. Okay. William Bowery is Joe's pseudonym. Joe is her boyfriend, and he helped write some songs on Evermore and Folklore, and that was his pseudonym. And we don't know the story behind it, but I hope one day we will. But that is his identity. I died dead. So this was like a joke. When Taylor did the 1989 Secret Sessions, she was on Graham Norton. I think it was Graham Norton, and he was reading off tweets from the Secret Sessioners, and she was like, rest in peace me, R.I.P. me, I died dead. So that became a huge joke. The very last one I have for you guys today is $40 million legs. This is a joke because Meredith scratched Taylor's leg, and she said, thanks Meredith, now you owe me $40 million, because there was a joke going around that Taylor had insured her legs for $40 million. So that is also a joke that we have, and yeah. Now, if you're a Swiftie, you're probably like nodding your head to this whole thing. If you're not, and you just wanted to hear some of the stuff that we have heard from Taylor, we've associated with Taylor, we've like joked about with Taylor, like, here you go. I know some of the stuff is crazy, but I love it, and there's so much more. Like I said, I already have some more on my list, so if you guys want a part 2, definitely let me know. But this video was so much fun to film. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what your favorite one on the list is. I definitely think mine is probably, let me look. I feel like I'm in Handcuffs is so funny. And Can We Have Another Question? And Eunice. Like the OG stuff, like Eunice, the leather bracelets, is like what I thrive off of. So I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video. And yeah, you guys, I hope this video entertained you in some way, and I sincerely hope I see you, yes, you, in the next one. Bye guys.